Hey guys, so we are going to be doing a pick a card today. We're using the Rumi Oracle deck. I love this deck so much. So you can close your eyes, take a deep breath, and think of a number 1, 2, or 3. Just the first number that comes to mind. Don't overthink it. Take as much time as you need to feel into it. And okay, we're going to be starting with number 1. So number 1 is 1. Like, okay. All right. So it's number 6. Let me see what this card means. That was funny. Okay. Oh my gosh, I can't. This is crazy. Okay, so the Rumi poem is, I have abolished duality from myself. I have seen the two worlds as one. One I seek, one I know, one I see, and one I call. So it says, like molten gold poured from the furnace of divine love into a one-of-a-kind mold, you are created uniquely and of divine essence. You are both the lover and the beloved. There is no aspect of your life separate from your spiritual journey, and there is no aspect of you that is not of divine origin. So then, why the frowning? Why the fear or the questioning? Let me share a sublime secret with you. There is nothing to fear. All is unfolding according to the divine genius, and there is a sweet shift in store for you. No matter how dire circumstances may appear to be, there is still an avenue through which fulfillment and resolution will be granted. This will happen. That is because the divine seeks wholeness of the one. That means anything and every part of existence is claimed by the divine. Your return to the divine is demanded. Every part of you, every life circumstance. The divine keeps rigorous, flawless accounts. Therefore, nothing shall be left unaccounted for, not even that which seems to be outside divine attention and grace at this moment. This oracle comes to you with particular guidance. There is a friction or conflict within you or your life right now, a sense perhaps of being pulled in more than one direction and confusion because of this. You are questioning which path to take, this way or that way. What if you choose this path and it turns out the other would have been better? But how can you know what choice, if any, is most needed in your life? So many questions. Your mind is scurrying. There is no other word for it. Backwards and forwards it goes, to and fro, trying to settle upon the truth. I love you too much to allow this to continue to go unchecked. Surrender, give up. The truth you seek is this: you shall be. You shall manifest your destiny, just as the acorn grows into the oak tree. You cannot be other than what you are. And as you accept this, life responds. It breathes and relaxes around you, so what you need can come to you more easily. It finds you, drawn to the need in you that is natural and inviting, and not a cause for anxiety or distress. What is desired and what fulfills that desire is one. They are lovers that come to each other naturally, even through darkness and confusion, drawn to each other, following the natural course of the universe to become one. So do not fear, do not hold back from that which feels incomplete out of anxiety or distress. It is just the lover that will soon be joined by the beloved. You are recognizing the moment before this occurs. If there's any part of you struggling to surrender the conflict between old and new, between what has been and what needs to be, between passion and duty, creativity and rationality, between this role or identity, then know this: even the conflict serves. Don't choose either one and believe it is the answer. Sometimes the sacrifice is not one or the other, but the idea that it can be only one or the other. At another level, a level of divine resolution, there is beyond the apparent polarity and conflict a third way, the rising up to where there is only one perfection taking place constantly. Open your heart. You'll find the bridge to understanding and trusting in that perfection there, where it has always been and will always be. Don't worry. All is happening exactly as it should. There is a resolution and a perfect coming together of elements in your life that might have seemed desperate or in conflict. Something you have been trying to integrate is so very nearly ready to click into place. Stay with your process. The coherence, the integration, the balance and coming together you seek is on your horizon, approaching you swiftly now. Okay, so that was number 1. We're going to be moving on to number 2. Number 2 is Beyond the Threshold of Fear, number 25. So the Rumi poem is Enter the lion's jungle. Don't think about getting hurt. Fearful thoughts are phantoms of the mind. No one is harmed in this jungle. Everything is compassion and love. It is your fear holding you back, like a bar behind the door. After so long, you are changing your relationship to fear. No more shall it hold you in its thrall. You're becoming able to observe it, to witness it, even to have compassion rather than resistance. Instead of unconsciously sabotaging your growth and choosing to slumber in darkness, you awaken and delight in the light and sound of your divine being. Push and pull, 1 step forward and a half step back. So it has been for so long, and you have endured. Yes, you are winning the race, and fear is left to fizzle out. This oracle comes with spiritual guidance for you. You have broken through a barrier, a self-imposed barrier of fear that held you back from taking the steps you are now taking, or just about to take. These steps may feel strange, new, uncertain, and exciting. Your mind might not have received the memo that fear-based existence is no longer in operation for you. It may need a loving, tender, reassuring, and firm update that the relationship you have with fear is now rather different. You are the witness, not the victim. Your consciousness is strong enough to hold it in compassion. You don't collapse under its weight. In fact, it is becoming less and less substantial for you. When it is there, it seems less convincing than what it once appeared to be. Compelling still at times, perhaps, but not anywhere near as powerful as it once was. That power has been claimed by your heart instead. So give your mind the memo. Get used to the new way and take steps. Test your legs. You'll find them powerful and ready. Take the running leap. There is no darkness and light for you anymore. Just life, living free and clear. I'll be running and flying beside you. We'll soar and rise and dive together. Let's play. I love that ending. So that was number 2. We're going to be moving on to number 3. Let's see. It is From Nothing to Everything. Like, what? I mean, look at these cards. 1, Beyond the Threshold of Fear, and From Nothing to Everything. Like, it tells its own story. I love it so much. Okay, so let's see. This is number 16. So the Rumi poem is, Oh, my friend, if you are longing to be written on, become a blank page. For me personally, this is resonating so hard because I've been kind of looking into the Tao, just kind of skimming through. I wouldn't say studying just yet, but like skimming through some of the concepts. And it's just so, I don't know, like on point with all of this. I guess nothing is a coincidence. So let's see what the book says. There are moments on the path of love that seem to focus on letting go of identities, of knowledge and certainty, of opinion, and even attempts at control. We may feel as though we are being stripped back to our core, and even then, perhaps further still. We may wonder if we can bear it. We may feel challenged every time we attempt to become something great, as though we are blocked by circumstances beyond our control. Again and again, it is as though a greater hand smacks our wrist the moment we try to take hold of something firmly, someone, anything that brings us certainty or inner stability. We meet this challenge when our soul is ready for it. When we are asked to dispense with our story, the interpretations we have given to our life experience over the years, we may not hear the request at first. We may vaguely note it, but not recognize the great divine source asking this of us, and so we don't give such an inclination due accord. We may persist with spinning our own tales instead. Our mind may fancy itself to be a great wrangler of the word, impressed with its own judgments and declarations, yet in the light of comparison with the divine tale for our soul, all our fancies shall pass away, revealed as so very frail, like clouds dissipating in the sky. Perhaps we are graced with the realization that there is so much more, or perhaps we still don't get the hint and move into struggle as we try to enact what we think our story should be. You are being asked to let go, to receive, to become empty, to be filled. It may be of no longer holding on to a fantasy of your dream job, but of being guided into your most soulful and successful vocation. It may mean letting go of wishes for your body or health to be other than it is, so you can simply get on with living each day, taking steps into wellness without thinking beyond one day at a time. It is the divine paradox that when we are asked to surrender a story or a fantasy, it is because reality is knocking at our door, more often than not, with the delivery of what we have been fantasizing about, but in the best way for us. The human experience of this paradox is that you may feel you are giving up hope, that your fantasy is dying. It may be very painful and bring you much grief, but all that is dying is your attachment and opinion about how it must be. This needs to happen so you can stop dreaming and start living it. This is what is happening for you now. Do not fear any part of your process. Embrace it without expectation, with trust in your heart that the divine is simply guiding you from fantasy into fulfillment. Oh my God. Wow. Super, super powerful. I'm so sorry. I know like my hand was shaky and I'm holding it with my hand and it's windy, and when I'm reading the book, like I'm not really paying attention, so I know that that's probably annoying. I apologize. But oh my gosh, this was so good. This whole message. I feel like it could be like a whole message, just the 3 cards, but also you could be finding yourself specifically at any point in this process that is being shown to us here, which could be with this one card. How I'm looking at it is, getting the realization that everything is one. The majority of us are living our life based off of our own individual perspective, the ego, the I. But once you can really detach from that and live from a greater whole, from like the one consciousness, experience living from a space of connection to all things, feeling, that unity, that integration of both masculine and feminine energies, to give us that whole experience of oneness, connection to source, to creation, to all that is. I feel like that's like the foundation, that's where you should be coming from, emanating from, that space, that understanding, versus like I and me and your individualistic perspective and point of view. And in the Tao, it says that like you're already that, like you are already divine. You are already everything that you're seeking to become. It's just a matter of dissolving the ego and not looking through the lens of the ego, because the fact that you're still trying to attain something, reach something, become something means that you don't have the understanding that you already are that thing. You are one with it. You're looking through the wrong lens. It's just a concept that you can think about. It's one I've been thinking about lately. So then we move to beyond the threshold of fear. And yeah, it's this understanding. Because when you have this understanding, right, that all is one, that you are divine, you aren't, you're not seeking to become divine, you are divine, then you can have, truly have the trust that spirit is here, that you're being led, that you are being guided, that all is exactly as it should be. You release attachments and control, and you trust in the divine, and you trust that you belong, and you trust that you'll be led, you'll find your way, that you shall bloom exactly as you were meant to, you shall shine exactly as you were meant to. So it allows you to go beyond the threshold of fear. It's like finally, because it's one of those things that you gain awareness about, but like, the card said, it's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, but it's like finally being able to move beyond it. It's like finally being able to see yourself as one with nature, because I'm sure you hear that all the time, like we are one with nature, but like you really don't get it, or it doesn't click, or it's just something you read in a book and you haven't experienced yet. But it's getting to that point where you can really experience that. It's more than just reading it and understanding it with the intellectual mind. It's something you feel and live. And then we get from nothing to everything. I mean, what better ending can we have? From nothing to everything. Like now, when you see your connection, when you go beyond the threshold of fear, when you can truly trust, when you're really, don't have any attachments, have zero attachments, when you truly have zero attachments, it goes from nothing to everything, because you couldn't see it before, but now you realize like it was right here all along. You're gonna have the eyes to see now, the connection, the awareness, the realization, the epiphany, the enlightenment. I'm just kidding. So yeah, this was the message. Beautiful, beautiful, so impactful, and so perfectly in tune with the things that I've been reading about lately and coming across and contemplating. Truly magical as always. I'm always mind blown with these things. Spirit never ceases to amaze me. Never. All right, you guys. So that was it. I hope this served you. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time. Bye.